And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. I am Andrew Pepe Valentin. We are finally back here on X-Bomb Sports. It's been a while, I know. It's been a while, but we are finally back here on X-Bomb Sports.
Out.
We got a lot. What?
Out.
What?
Out.
You haven't been.
You mass drunkard, you.
You haven't been doing the show. Someone's got to do the show.
No. Out. Away with you. Get out of the chair. Go in the back. Go where you're needed. AA more than likely at this point. My goodness. Unbelievable. Some people. You can't get any good help nowadays, I swear. All right. Welcome, everybody, here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. My name is Andrew Valentin. I am the real Andrew Valentin, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the real one. I don't know who that imposter was. But welcome back, everybody. We are live here from the Illinois Media School in the O'Hare campus. It's been a month. Obviously, been a hot minute. And again, apologies that we were away, but don't you start, Mr. ZEDM. I was expecting you to come in with glow sticks and glitter all over your body because of the stuff that you were sending me for a while there, and now I'm finding out things really, boy, God.
Look, you get away from the show for a minute, Andrew, and let it loose a little bit,
Yeah, there's letting it loose, and then there's you being like, I unleashed the tiger. Like, I mean, what's wrong with you? It's not even the tiger. You've unleashed the kraken. Yeah. I know what I said. Pun intended. If you would like to help somebody in need, please. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. We're back again. We've been gone for a while. I am joined again by Scotty Kiefer. Scotty is back. Scotty had a nice little trip. He was off in Scotland doing Scottish things. Scotty,
going to a wedding. It was great.
For a wedding, yes. I'm glad you had a good time. You need help.
No, we're fine. I'm back on X-Bomb Sports.
Listen, if I need help, you need help, okay?
We're back on X-Bomb Sports. That's all the help I need.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I could do my part, at least in some way, shape, or form. And if you would like to donate to the charity of Scotty Kiefer, you can help an innocent poor child out as well, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, well, I'm trying to help you.
I haven't been on a show in a month, and you're begging for donos. That's crazy.
Shut up. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, listen, we've got a lot we're going to recap here. We've obviously... a lot of NFL stuff. We got the draft. We're going to talk a little bit on college football in some stuff in particular. You guys wanted to talk about the Vrabel Russini stuff. We're also going to kind of get into some stuff for we're going to try our best to give you some stuff for the boys of Bad Karma. I know they're not here, but they're both busy right now. David Double D Dykstra and No Gimmicks Nick Johnston. Make sure to check them out, by the way, too, on Bad Karma. That's Bad Karma Wrestling. Every Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time, the boys are going live talking WWE and AEW stuff, so we'll cover that as well. And we're also going to talk some Bull stuff as well here, too. And then, obviously, at the very end, we might give Scotty some chances to talk, particularly about sports. Nothing else at all. You do. We have established this.
All I'm going to say is we're going to talk about the fights this weekend because Khamzat Chimaev almost missed weight this morning.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, that's going to be an interesting one for sure, too. All right. Well, without further ado, Scotty, you ready to jump into this, my man? Yeah, I didn't miss that at all. All right. Let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, yes...
the Patriot way.
Yes, the Patriot. Put the full screen of this, if you can, up there real quick, because I was proud of this one. I was really happy with this. Look at that, folks. Look at that. For the love of the game. That was ChatGPT. I thought that's the best ChatGPT picture I've been able to generate so far of these. I'm thoroughly happy with that one, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so obviously this situation... when it broke, you guys were asking me to talk about it, but I considered it a nothing story. I kind of bypassed it when we were kind of talking other stuff. then it really started generating a lot of heat. The pictures are coming out. Vrabel makes this statement. More pictures come out. Russini resigns.
You know what it changed for me?
Yeah.
When they started interviewing the players. Then
Yes.
that's when it
Yeah.
started changing for me. Because I was with you. I was like, this isn't really nothing.
It's a story, but it's
It
not
happens
really
like all the time.
right.
Like, okay, cool.
this
Like, it's a bad thing, but like it happens all the time. But
Right.
when the players started talking, that's when it changed for me.
well, yeah, and I think that's when you felt the shift of everything, right? And it certainly felt like I think when Diana Russini resigned from the Athletic, a lot of the momentum that was carrying, like, you know, I don't want to say it was one-sided, but it very much felt like she was carrying a lot of the brunt of the blame, if you will. And then all of a sudden when she resigns, she's shifted to the back, and now Mike Vrabel is shifted to the front. And it now becomes this story of, stop it. It now don't you dare. No, don't you even dare. I see what you're doing. You don't even need any more of that. It became a story all of a sudden where Mike Vrabel's getting forced to the front because he's addressing the media about it, obviously. He's not saying they're admitted to it, but he's obviously saying something happened. Photos are now becoming intimate proof that certainly these two were entwined in. Why I made that picture was it's almost of that sort of Lifetime movie, soap opera type of relationship where it's like, no, we can't be together, but we must because we're in love. Like, it feels like it's on that level of that kind of storyline where you're going, this has to be fake.
Netflix is frothing at the mouth over this.
Oh, I
The
100%.
script of this, they're like, how come we didn't think of that?
Lifetime is putting together a package where they're going to go, we're going to pour millions. This is going to be challenging that Mario Lopez Kentucky Fried Love movie. It's just phenomenal, by the way. You should definitely go watch that. That is so bad. It's still bad, but it's like interesting bad. But this is like one of those where I could easily see he was all about the game. It was all about the love of football, and then she walked into his life.
Well, it becomes a top 2 sports rom-com of all time. It's up there. It's up there with Fever Pitch right now.
If I just got done watching what's that basketball TV show that's on Netflix? That's like it's a spoof of basically the Lakers whole thing. It's the comedy that's out there right now.
I thought you were talking about the Dynasty one.
No, yeah, is that not the same one?
Well, is it the one where they're like with Magic and Kareem?
No, not that one. It's on Netflix. It's a playoff of the Lakers basically, but it's like a comedy. They're called the LA Waves, and it's supposed to be like, oh, this is what the Bus family deals with because the brothers all run it's that whole thing. It very much feels like it could be like in that route where you could easily make this into a TV show where we're all like, oh yeah, 100% I'll follow it. You can make this into an HBO show, and I think people would be into it.
I mean, Andrew, again, obviously we've seen a lot of pictures with it, and there's still like a lot of speculation, and it seems like every
conspiracy
week
theories are out the wazoo right now.
There's another bombshell that comes out. I mean, I'm expecting a week before the NFL season, and it's going to come out that the kid is his. But yeah, I would say to stay on the sports side of things we've seen other situations, and we've talked on this show about other situations like this. Is it starting to bleed over into the sports world of Vrabel that he might need to exit the team because of the overshadow of all of this?
Yeah, and that's where obviously, look, away from all of the, we can't be together and all that drama stuff, that love drama, rom-com, whatever you want to call it. Outside of that, back to the sports reality, like you said, Scotty, of it is because of all of this, it's now becoming a distraction where they're going into mini camp. They can't even really have a press conference about this stuff with Vrabel because he knows the questions are coming. You have Robert Kraft, who was trying to block the photos from being put out there, and now there's a lot of people questioning whether or not Robert Kraft should keep Mike Vrabel, considering that the Patriots are an epicenter for controversy, right? Dating back to the days of Belichick with Spygate and Deflategate, and then you've got the Robert Kraft situation itself with the massage parlor. You go even down to Belichick, who's not even with the team, but there's still like a connection because he's the Patriots winning his coach, and now he's got this thing with the Jordan what's-her-face or whatever, right? There's all of this stuff that kind of delves back to the Patriots, and this being also a Boston thing, which let's not forget, Ime Udoka was the head coach of the Celtics, had his little scandalous affair with though it was a personnel that worked with the Celtics, it still was you cheated on your wife or girlfriend, I forget what she was to him, but you cheated on her, and that obviously led to the Boston Celtics saying, well, we have a policy against this kind of stuff, and because of that, it is now grounds for removal, grounds for firing. And he loses his job after he just took the Celtics to the playoffs, took a deep run with them there, and we were all going, oh, man, this is a great hire. This is exactly what the Celtics need. Now, obviously, they go and win a championship without him, but still, it's one of those situations where I think if you're in that front office right now, that's not Robert Kraft, right? You're the president, you're any executive kind of working in that front office, you're going, this is going to possibly derail us. Like, you just made the Super Bowl. You were maybe a handful of plays possibly of almost winning it had you been able to stop the Seahawks or at least make a few more touchdowns, right? Like, they were on the cusp of possibly being there and getting another championship.
And not only that, they're a step away from they need to make one more step. They're right there to be what the Seahawks were, where they dominated in the Super Bowl. And the fact that you can just tell, like, these players they don't really know how to react to it.
Right.
They don't really know what to say about it. And I think the one was, like, Drake May. It kind of sounded like he was talking about Vrabel, like his mom died or something like that. But I mean, you got to think at some point, and look, he's got to leave the draft, like you said, and all this stuff. I mean, you got to think that for as great of a coach as he is and how great their situation is on the field, that this is going to overshadow it, and you don't really want it to become a huge saga of it. If she had to leave to get away from it, I mean, it's getting to the point where he has to kind of as well.
She had to get off of all the social media. Like, she has completely disappeared from public eye, from all surface. Now, at some point, it's been reported that she's, I guess, going to give her side of the story, her statement on how this went down, because it's been basically all Vrabel's kind of word and everybody else kind of explaining what they have in front of them.
To be fair, she was going to not say anything about it and treat it like a nothing burger. And then Vrabel came out and started saying things. So she probably could have explained it a lot earlier. She chose to be silent about it, which, whatever. That's what she wanted to do.
Oh, yeah.
Like, fine.
I mean,
again, it's all of their business. It's just now that it's out for all of us.
Exactly. And listen, for her, she has every opportunity to, I mean, they both do have the opportunity to be able to bounce back from this with no problem. It just is really going to determine. For Russini, it's a little bit easier because you're a reporter. There's a lot of opportunities out there for you to be able to go and get another job, right? Everyone's talked about she's going to go to Barstool or, you know.
She could start a podcast and definitely start pulling in the athletes.
Absolutely.
And pulling in the coaches. And she would actually get viewership because she'd be able to get the guest on there that people would want to hear.
Oh, 100%. But for Vrabel, like, it's not that this is where the buck stops, but this is really where, because of this situation, it muddies the waters for, well, are players going to be able to look at him the same way? Can they trust him? Can executives trust him? You know, I mean, look, how many people have now brought up the whole thing with the Tennessee Titans, right? We thought that firing was so out of pocket. It was so weird how it just came about. It was so sudden. And we went, wait a minute. They were not doing well at that point in time. You could say there's grounds for firing, sure, because they're not having success, but he did take him to the playoffs. He did have success. He was the best coach they had had in a long time. Why would you let him go? And you now have to go, well, was this maybe something the Tennessee Titans caught wind of and said, no, we don't like how this situation's playing out. We've heard these rumors. We've seen how you're acting, and we don't like how this situation's playing out. We're going to let it go. Who knows, right? Like, we can only but speculate at this point in time, but for what it looks like right now with the position that Vrabel's in, it definitely reads like, okay, dude, you two clearly, like, were in a relationship, like this isn't just an affair. Like you guys were clearly like, we really like each other, but you didn't want to leave your spouses for whatever reasons because of how I guess it was going to look and how you're going to have to explain that situation then to the media because that's going to have to come out. But is this any better? Is this situation become any better than if you would have just said, hey, look, me and our significant others, we fell out of love with each other. I mean, Russini, the receipts are there. People have been putting compilations together of her like bashing her husband in joking manner. But I'll say this, as somebody who's been a part of watching relationships blossom from dating to marriage to now getting divorced, I've seen a few of those where it's like, oh, you're joking about how your husband's normal or average or, you know, oh, we're going to get divorced. Yeah, and then they end up actually getting divorced. Like, you don't joke about that kind of stuff if there's not already a rip and a tear, I think, within the relationship, honestly. I mean, unless you have that kind of relationship, but even then, I would still argue, like, no, there feels like there's something else going on there. I mean, if you're in the Patriots situation right now, if this season falls apart, like the players are just completely in dismay, Vrabel doesn't seem to be focused, if the season doesn't look anything close to what they had last year in terms of a top defense, a top offense, and a great performance, I don't know if he's going to survive. I think he survives this year, but I don't know if by next year we're talking about the Patriots and looking at Mike Vrabel and going, he's still the head coach. Like, you're going to have to make a run to the playoffs. You're going to have to make a run through the playoffs to get to the AFC Championship again, I feel like, to try to supersede all of this talk. You're going to have to prove that this is nothing, because this is going to be the epicenter of every question leading up to the regular season. And I would say even deep into the regular season, there will still be those who are trying to pry whatever information they can out of it, because Russini will probably have her say. I'm sure at some point maybe her spouse may have her say. Mike Vrabel's wife might have her say, right? There's going to be a whole lot of stuff that probably couldn't pour out between now and where the season ends.
Her husband was building a crib while she was on a boat in Tennessee. Like, that's crazy to think about.
That's now a huge thing too, right? Like, you have that whole, they sign those waivers on a boat when she's pregnant with their kid, like 6 months pregnant, whatever it was with their kid. And yeah, he's at home apparently prepping things, getting ready for the baby. And it's like, is that really, that's not normal behavior, I feel like. I've never seen that. But then again, we're not rich and famous. I'm not a part of any sort of circles like that. Yeah, I know. I'm not bougie like that, I guess, where it's like, yeah, I might be having a kid inside of me, but you know what? I'm going to go off and dance. I've never had anything like that. Not even close. I honestly, I'm in the mindset that I think Vrabel is what was maybe the least hottest seat you could find in football. 1 year turnaround, Super Bowl runner-up. What a great moment. All of a sudden, that seat went from a 0 to like a 4. Like, that thing is on fire.
Don't know. I feel like that seat went from being in the middle of Antarctica to being in the middle of the Sahara Desert.
Yeah, there's a good one.
One more report comes out.
We're getting close to Mercury on this one. Like,
I will say the last thing why I think they might have to fire him is you got to think with the other reporters that are going to be asking him questions during the midweek, how uncomfortable that's going to make that kind of workplace environment for them.
Yeah.
Knowing that he was doing this while being a head coach in the NFL and even being off, when he had that time off from Tennessee to New England, I feel like that kind of environment with them also is not going to be that comfortable for them to be around.
No.
So I feel like that kind of also leads into it's as much as it would suck for them because, again, he is such a great coach, this should maybe take precedent over that.
Yeah, no, it is a situation right now where listen, if you're Robert Kraft, if you're the Patriots, if you're looking at this whole thing and going, yes, we did what we did last year, that's great, that's awesome, but the last thing that we need is more controversy around a franchise that has been filled with controversy over the last 20, 30 years. I'm sorry. Like, this is one of those situations where you may have to say, bite the bullet, take the loss. I mean, I don't know what you're gonna do as far as a head coach then, though, because that's going to be a significant. Like, I don't think you're going to promote Josh McDaniels. I would think not, but I don't know where you go from here. That's the problem. Like, you lose Mike Vrabel, what are you doing? Who are you going to go get to go and replace that? Because either way, people are going to be upset.
Well, the thing is you're so late in the year. So I was talking with my buddy who is a Patriots fan, and I said, look, the thing is, they're gonna have to get rid of him. I feel like they should get rid of him. The problem is they're gonna have to promote from within.
Yeah.
And he instantly goes, "You can't do McDaniels." And I go, "No, you kind of have to because it's only a 1-year thing.
Yeah.
Next year you can come back and say we're gonna get a legitimate head coach."
Yeah, and I don't even know if Josh McDaniels even wants to be a head coach, but he might not have a choice because
you're gonna have to put the interim tag on someone.
Yeah,
That's what you're gonna have to do.
He's going. I mean, listen. Don't get rid of Josh McDaniels. He's arguably a Hall of Fame offensive coordinator for what he's been able to do with guys like Tom Brady, even Mac Jones, and now Drake May. Don't ever get rid of that guy because that guy knows how to scheme an offensive game. But somebody's going to have to be brought in then as the head coach that's going to be willing to work with him and put it all into place if that is the case. But we're going to find out. This is I hate that this has become a story, and I hate that we're one of those who are dragging this in, but unfortunately, it's become too big to ignore. We had to talk about it. You guys wanted us to talk about it, and unfortunately, it got to the point where it's like, yeah, this is taking up too much air now.
And the memes have been great.
Yeah, exactly. And the impact it can have on the NFL now and what it can mean. Like, he gets fired. Does that mean Buffalo now has a shot? Are they back on top? This changes the landscape for everything. Really, I'm intrigued to see where it goes from here. So for the love of the game, check it out. It's going to be premiering on Netflix very soon. I'm copywriting those rights, by the way, so Netflix, come after me. We'll talk. We'll talk business shop if you want. Scotty's going to be my executive producer on that too, by the way, so he's going to get a cut of the share on that as well. It's just making sure. I'm looking out for my people here. All right, let's move on to the next one. So I think the next one I had was
let's do the draft first.
Yeah, let's do the draft. Let's do the draft because the other
get through that one pretty quickly.
Yeah, we can get through this pretty fast. So because the other one's going to take forever, I'm going to be yapping and yammering up here, and me and Scotty are probably going to have a really good discussion with that. But yeah, look, NFL draft. Obviously came and went.
It was probably one of the best drafts in recent years.
Everyone
entertainment value.
That's the thing. Everyone, I want to make this statement very clear, okay? Because anybody who said this was a bad draft, I'm talking to what's his graybeardness from Barstool Sports over there. I don't remember his name, Brendan something or whatever. The dude was just all, it's a bad draft. It's not a bad draft. It was a very interesting draft because of who was getting taken, where they were getting taken, the trades that were happening.
Bro, after the first pick, we had like very little clue who teams were actually going to pick.
Yeah. It became like, who's next?
We even knew David Bailey was going to go to the Jets, but with his tweets in the morning, it just kind of turned it off.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like you didn't, even then, I couldn't even tell you that even though they were saying he's guaranteed the number 2 pick, I was going, yeah, but is he? Because Arvo Reese is still there. And what if they pivot and say, no, we really like him instead? He could have gone any direction.
And then Downs kept falling, and then Bain kept falling, and all of these guys kept falling, and they started, and then even the Bears picked Thieneman. He was supposed to go to the Vikings. He started falling.
Yeah, right.
We had top corners that were going out in the second round and weren't getting picked till like halfway through. I mean, it was really good, and we had a bunch of trades. We had 2 in the top 10, right, and then a couple in the top 20. So
absolutely.
I thought it was fun. I thought the smoke screen of not being able to know who everyone's gonna pick this year was intriguing because, a lot of teams just needed so much.
Yes.
So when they went certain directions, you're like, I mean, I guess that makes sense, but they probably could have gotten someone else.
That's the thing, is you're trying to make sense of all of the picks, one of which, obviously, if you were watching our draft show, we left the stage here. We literally had to get up and just walk away because we were just like, no, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. That's not supposed to happen. And we're going to get to that. But, yeah, winners and losers.
I think with you saying that, let's just get to that.
Yeah, winners and losers for the draft. Look, right off the bat for me, first and foremost, I will say I thought Miami did an excellent job with the draft.
I thought that, especially with the trade they got to get some extra pieces.
Yeah,
great draft that they had.
They loaded up their team. It doesn't mean it's going to translate to flip the stage. Like I don't know.
No, especially because Malik Willis can't throw out the first pitch at a Marlins game. So like that doesn't really.
That is
help.
such a bad look. That's such a bad.
But the draft was good, so that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. And look, I don't know. I have my own reserves with Jeff Hafley because he feels like Joe Philbin 2.0, but on the defensive side because he's so matter of fact. But okay, let's give him benefit of the doubt. You get Caden Proctor, going to play left guard apparently. It's a solid piece. Devin O'Kane's going to disappear.
They did pick him a little early, but like the athleticism and talent's there, so
it makes sense.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. I thought left tackle. Sure, you put him at left guard. O'Kane's going to. Goodbye. You're not going to see him ever. He's perfect for the run game.
Loser, I am going to go Rams.
Yeah. They
reached on a quarterback that everyone was debating as like a second or third round talent. I mean,
you broke our brains, LA. You broke not just our brains, everyone's brain, because it's not, and like you said, it's not Ty Simpson himself. I think that we were upset with.
Ty Simpson could be a very good prospect.
Very good. But
was he supposed to go at that point? No.
But
the other thing that I so when I walked into the draft, I was like, you know what? The Rams are drafting so high because of the trade they made last year.
Right.
They were a couple plays away from making the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And honestly, with the defense they had and the offense they had, I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? They make the right pick. And they are the number one contenders for next year.
100%.
And then they pick a quarterback and don't address any other problem that they had, which I would have said is probably either a linebacker or another corner.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
maybe what they needed, and that would have put them over the top.
A tackle would have been nice, like something.
A tackle would have been fine, but like I was kind of looking more on the defensive side because you have
Sure.
Stafford. He's a smart enough quarterback to kind of work with that.
Yeah.
A worse offensive line. And the fact that they just come out and did that, I was like, it just bumped them down for me. I was like, I can't take that team seriously because they didn't actually do much to improve.
You reached on a tight end. You kind of filled in a few gaps there through the draft with a few other pieces. But to me, it's those top two. Like Max Clare, I think, is the second best tight end in this draft. Don't get it twisted. Like that's a good move because obviously you're losing two tight ends, sure. But he's not going to play right away. He's probably going to be the third tight end in. So he's sitting for the year, he's learning, and he's not really getting playing time at a position where we've seen it now. The more playing time you get at that position, the better you seem to get. Like that just seems to be the bulk for tight end. Play and you get better.
Especially in that Ram system too.
Yeah, exactly. Like Parkinson looks like he can be something, right? You just took a tight end last year, which is where everyone's kind of going, wait, what? But Ty Simpson, the problem is too, you could have got him later in the draft, traded up in the later parts of the draft, and gotten him.
Probably could have traded, if you really wanted him, you probably could have traded back into the first round.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the thing is that then you make the statement of going, beforehand, we wanted an immediate impact player. We didn't want somebody who's going to sit and wait. He's going to be sitting and waiting for 2 years. So Rams, unless this kid is really like the second coming, but I don't see it right off the bat. There's just a lot of average with him as a quarterback right
system.
now. Yeah, exactly.
I'll get it out of the way, Andrew.
Yeah.
Bears don't fit into any category here. They had probably one of the best picks in the first round strictly because he fell so far and he fit an immediate need that they needed.
Absolutely.
But every other pick was very confusing.
Other than Malik Muhammad.
Yeah.
I like that pick. Everything else.
Yes, but that was so late. So
right.
But you're looking at, and it's so late though.
Right. But he was expected to go late second, early mid-third beforehand. He falls to the fourth. You're maximizing value on that pick.
Drafting a third-round pure blocking tight end in the third round
unless you've got to be trading Cole Kmet then.
No. So this is the thing, because that was the first thing most people texted me about. I said
right.
no.
You just reworked his contract so you could lower the cap on him.
They just reworked his contract. He's staying. The whole point is this guy's purely a blocking tight end.
Right.
And last year they had Drew Smith or whatever his name is. Smythe.
Yeah.
He made like 10 catches. That's all they need out of this guy.
Sure.
Because it's going to be – and the other thing is they like using Loveland outside because of his versatility.
Of course.
But Ben Johnson likes having his two tight ends on the line. that lets you have 3 tight ends on the field now. And you can have Cole and him blocking, and maybe Cole does like a check and release.
Right.
And then Loveland's using his versatility to actually get down the field and get 15 yards down the field.
Sure.
So it works in the system. I actually didn't really blow up about it as much as some other people. I was just like, there's so much other talent out there that
you could have got him later. Honestly, like that felt like a reach. If you wanted him, fine, but you could have got him.
So like I said, they don't fit into either winner or losers because the picks they made aren't bad. It's just
you reached on a lot of these guys,
and they also didn't really fill all of the positions.
I thought, if anything, you should have came out of here with some sort of edge rusher. I'm not saying that you can't trust Austin Booker or Shamar Turner. See what you got in those guys, sure, fine. But I felt like the more depth you have at that position right now, the better opportunity you're going to be able to say, we can find somebody somewhere to fill. If anything, situational, right? Third down, pass rush the quarterback. You get a specialist that's able to do that. There's plenty of guys that you could be able to fill the gap there, I think.
I got one more for each, and then you can go. I actually have the Jets as a loser. I feel like David Bailey didn't want to go to the Jets.
No, he didn't.
Just flat out.
Go to the Jets.
Flat out, he did not want to go to the Jets.
Did he look happy?
You picked him anyways.
Yeah.
While the talent is still there, he doesn't want to be there. He'll probably be traded in his 4th year.
Well, I said, I'm like, see you in Dallas in 5 years.
Sadiq doesn't make sense for them to pick. Yes, he's the best tight end in the draft. They have 2 good tight ends, and it's not like they're ready to go where drafting a tight end is really going to change that offense.
Right.
And then they drafted Omar Cooper, and in my opinion, look, that's a gadget guy. Yes, is he going to pair well with Wilson? Yes, probably. He'll be a great slot option and be able to get a lot of jet sweeps in there, and that's what the Jets were liking to do at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But the Jets need so damn much. Drafting skill positions did not make sense.
No, it makes sense. Listen, obviously, if they work great. Omar Cooper Jr., I was not high on him. I thought 2nd rounder, fine, whatever, but I did not think 1st rounder. Kenyon Sadiq, I really thought Tampa would really want to use him more than anything to upgrade their receiving core, but for the Jets to take him at 16, I was just kind of like, that. You have Mason Taylor like that. Then you take D'Angelo Pons in the 2nd, which, again, feels like a reach because he's 5'8". Like, you're taking a nickel corner at the 2nd round. Like, he might be special, sure. The only other ones I really liked were Darrell Jackson Jr. in the 4th and Cade Klubnik in the 4th. After that, nothing for that draft for them really stood out to me. You got a defensive tackle, cool. I like Jackson Jr. I thought he would be great for the Bears as like a interior lineman you could get later in the draft. And Klubnik, I think, that's a backup that you can trust. He's good enough. I think he could even start this year.
I texted our boy Kobe and I said, that's your Week 17 starter right there.
No. Week 15. Come on. Give him 3 games. Give him 3 games at least. But I agree. The Jets, I was not in favor of that draft.
And then I got 2 winners that basically kind of had the same draft. I'm going with the Titans and the Cowboys. They both had players fall to them, with the Titans picking Tate and then Downs somehow falling to the Cowboys. They both... One of them trades back, one of them trades up into the draft, and they both get really good edge rushers that are really going to help out their defenses. So
hopefully
I feel like that is a good start for both of them.
Okay. I mean, Cowboys, I will agree with the win. The Titans, it's just that Carnell Tate, and I do think he's the best receiver in this draft. Don't get it twisted. It's just at 4. I think you could have traded down, and even if he wasn't there, Jordan Tyson is still a readily available, ready now, number 1 wide receiver you can go to.
I will say that I kind of had a Bengals situation with them as well, where I was like, man, you should probably pick Maui Noah over picking a wide receiver, just like they should have picked Panay over a Chase then when we were all like debating that.
Yeah.
I kind of got that kind of Vietnam flashback.
That's fair. But it could, listen, you're pairing up a really talented receiver with a very talented quarterback. I didn't like the Keldrick Falk move. I know he's a good guy. He's got the size, the look, and everything. He screams possible Shamar Stewart 2.0 with me. Where the body of work is there, yeah, but the production at Auburn. And I know Auburn wasn't good last year.
I will say
but he was
that he
lacking.
had a bad year last year.
Like, as big and strong and fast as he is, he should have had a 10-sack season, I feel.
I agree, but the talent is still there, and you can honestly, with the year Auburn have, I kind of blame the coaching a little bit for it, with all the turmoil there.
And it's Robert Saleh. If anybody knows how to put together an edge rusher, the guy knows how to get the best out of. Look at the guys he's been able to put together, right? Michael Williams, had he gotten an opportunity to coach him more, I'm sure he would have turned him into an all-pro, no doubt. For me, I'm going to put the Vikings and lose. I really thought they should have traded up to 4 to go get Jeremiah. I was really hoping. My thing I had was Jeremiah Love at 4 to Minnesota. They trade up to the Vikings. 2 first-rounders and Jordan Addison. That was my prediction I had for the draft. Because then you get a proven wide receiver, number 1. Troublesome, yeah, but it's a guy that you can kind of have on the for the 1-year deal and figure out if you want to keep him or not. And you get the extra first-round picks, right? Get to load up your team a little bit better, I think, at that point. But I thought the Vikings, Caleb Banks is hurt. I know he's one of your dudes from Florida, and I think he's talented, but you're kind of waiting to see if he's going to heal properly before he can actually play. And that's part of the problem I have with that draft for them. And I liked the rest of their picks. I thought they were really good picks that they had, but it's just that first-round pick that kind of killed it for me. And it's like the rest of them could be good, but you had an opportunity to get some real good talent that was still there at 18.
I was going to say, the fact, as much as I'm not saying this because he did get drafted by the Bears, it just seemed like Finneman was the ideal pick.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones
Harrison Smith
I would have
2.0
put the house on.
Yeah.
That they should have picked him because it fit perfectly. But for some reason, I think Harrison Smith is coming back.
If he is, he's what, 38? 37, 30?
They even did the whole goodbye from him last year, but he still hasn't said that he's retiring.
No, yeah, they said that they were cutting him, but they would said we welcome him back. It's such a weird situation.
It's a weird situation.
Yeah, I don't understand the Viking. I don't know. This is what happens when you fire your GM and then you're kind of like, oh, what are we going to do now? I'll figure it out. Another one I'll throw out there. It's not a loss. It's just the Steelers are in this weird enigma. I like the first-round pick, Hianachor, because that gives you your left tackle to, say, bribe Broderick Jones because he stinks.
A little bit of a reach, but...
Sure, but...
you got to
You needed it.
That was a need.
Yeah, but... I don't know. Aller, that whole situation is like, but okay, is he the starter or is Will Howard the starter? Or is Aaron Rodgers apparently possibly coming back? I
also think drafting Aller is weird because he's a Browns fan.
Yeah, that was weird to find out. I was like...
when they obviously they picked Kenny Pickett. And we kind of knew that they only picked Kenny Pickett because he went to Pitt.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
That is.
They needed a quarterback that year, and the top quarterback happened to go to Pitt.
Yeah.
They kind of had to pick him. With Drew, they did not have to pick him.
No, they did not. I'll just say for my Bengals, I thought they did fine. I mean, I didn't like the trading away of the top 10 pick for Dexter Lawrence, but if he upgrades that defensive line, fine. But I really thought they needed help at safety, but I think they still got help. They did pretty good in the draft. Got edge rushing help with Cassius Howell. Got some defensive backs to kind of help out the situation there. I forgot they got Brian Cook as a safety, so that's going to help him out. I like him, so I'm okay with that. I don't really know what they're going to do with Jordan Battle, but I'll say this, Cleveland, bravo to you for finally kind of getting it right. I thought they did a good job in the draft. They traded down, got more picks, got a left guard,
they fleeced
2
the
wide
Chiefs.
receivers. Yeah.
No one was going to pick him.
No.
I don't think anyone was going to pick him, and they pulled we weren't really going to pick him. They pulled a Mitch Trubisky with the 49ers. They were just like, we might pick him.
Yeah.
You sure you don't want the pick? That's what the feeling I got.
I liked what they did. They got 2 wide receivers out of this in Boston and Concepcion. They got Emmanuel McNeil-Warren in the second, which is a great pickup. And they got Austin Barber, which is a utility tackle that you can throw around and try and see if maybe he possibly can become a starter in this offensive line. And even the Chiefs, I give it to the Chiefs. You want to get up and trade up to Mansour Delane? Go for it. That's the best corner, I think, in the draft. Then you still get Peter Woods to help on the defensive line, possibly replace Chris Jones at some point. Get R. Mason Thomas. You got Emmett Johnson in the 5th to help that running back situation. I didn't think they did too bad.
I'm going Chargers as well as winners. I think Slaughter was the best center in the draft, and the fact that they got him after the Bears, I wanted the Bears to get him so bad. His talent was there. He just got rough at an injury, and Florida also had a down year. He would have been a top 15 pick if he came out last year.
I was going to say, the two best centers in this draft went later than they should have because Slaughter was in the second. I thought he was the second or the first best center in the draft. Connor Liu should have probably been a other first-round pick, but because of the ACL tear, he fell to the 6th. Thank you so much. Which is great for the Bengals because that gives you a future center, I think, that when he heals up, like, his technique is perfect, and Slaughter's perfect. And, the Chargers, receiver-wise, they got help.
True.
Messidor has an edge that they definitely needed. Yeah. They needed that extra help.
They filled their top 3 needs. They needed another wide receiver. They needed an edge rusher. They needed a center. Boom, filled it. Yeah. I also forgot the Titans selected Anthony Hill, which...
That's going to be a steal.
That's going to be a steal. That's why I put the Titans up there.
That dude is legit. Yeah, that dude is legit. That dude is I've been bragging about him for months now since he was at Texas, telling people, I get Colin Simmons. Everybody loves that guy. I get it. But this is the real deal, dude. Pass rush, plays cover, plays the run. He does everything, and he's a giant. He's huge. My God.
I will say that
should have ate my Wheaties.
I will say I don't think he's a true linebacker. I will say he kind of plays around like he maybe doesn't have a position, which is a little scary. I feel like you can play him at multiple different spots.
Can play him on the edge, can play him off ball, but he can play him more like a safety in the box kind of situation.
That's what I'm saying. So I feel that as much as that could be a great thing, we've also seen that could be a really bad thing.
Isaiah Simmons. Perfect example. Oh, and Denver, you suck. They did terrible. I know they didn't have a first-round pick. I get it. You got Jalen Waddle. That's your first-round pick. But come on. And Jacksonville, what the hell? You have a tight end. What do you need another one for? What is this thing with more tight ends? Am I missing something here?
Like, Ben Johnson's changing the game, man.
Apparently, my God. Ben Johnson took a tight end. He didn't even take a good tight end.
Ben Johnson runs 12. Oh, my God. We need to start running 12.
You took some guy from Texas A&M that everyone's like, well, he's got athleticism. And it's like, yeah, but is he even going to play?
Oh, and speaking of the Vrabel situation, I love that their first pick on day 3 was someone that most people didn't even frickin' scout.
I can't believe that. Like, the dude's a legit tackle, and none of you did any homework on him? What the hell's wrong? What, are you just looking at Spencer Fano going like, well, he's clearly the best?
No, like,
what about the other dude?
To be fair, look, if you look at like the top 3 to 50 prospects in the draft,
right,
it should be pretty good. The fact that they went with the dude that was like 500th on most boards.
I did, like, what am I
on day 3 when Vrabel isn't there?
What am I missing? Like, that's like my brain was just breaking when I'm hearing all this news come out about, well, we really didn't do. What do you mean you didn't do your homework? You just felt like the teacher. I'm like, what do you mean you didn't do your homework? I'm supposed to give you a good grade for that? Unbelievable.
There's a kid coming out next year though, Andrew. They're gonna have to do a lot of homework on.
Well, listen, there's a lot of kids next year that you're gonna have to do your homework on. I'm getting tired. By the way, I'm going to say this right now before we end this part. I'm getting really tired of these 2027 mock drafts not having Darian Mensah in the first round. Fix it.
That's kind of nuts, I'm not going to lie.
Why is CJ Carr in the top 5?
Yeah, no, dude.
This dude is Brady Quinn 2.0. How'd that go?
It's because he's going to win the Heisman, Andrew.
Oh, God. Why is he the favorite for the Heisman?
Because Notre Dame has a pancake schedule this year.
He's probably going to throw for like 20 touchdowns. Like, seriously, like, what is he going to have, a 40-bomb season? Doubt it. I seriously doubt it. You better tell me those wide receivers are good.
To throw 6 touchdowns against Navy.
That guy doesn't average 3.5 touchdowns a game. Like, he is a legitimate, like, 4th-round pick. I'm sorry. You have that kind of pancake schedule, you better average 3.5 touchdowns a game.
Oh, I think should be going in the top 5, Andrew. Brendan Sorsby, baby.
Ooh. Well, sorry to disappoint you, Scotty. Let's get into this. Because obviously, story's been growing, kicking momentum. Brendan Sorsby, quarterback for Texas Tech, originally of Indiana, then transferred to Cincinnati, officially is now in rehab in a treatment program for his addiction to gambling, which, when I heard this story, don't even start with me. When I heard this story, I'll be honest, it was surprising of who it was because I don't know the kid, but hearing a lot about him and hearing him talk, you get the sense that, like everyone always says, oh, he's such a good kid. He's such a good guy. But it didn't surprise me that this was a story that broke. But it's the way in which it came about, and then the story itself where it's thousands of bets made since his time in Indiana. So when he was a minor, like under the age of 21, he was making bets. And I'm going to presume, I'm presuming at this point, so more than likely he's been doing this probably since high school. To some degree, he was probably doing this stuff since high school through somebody. But the fact that he was making he was betting $1 a pitch on baseball. I'm sorry, that is like, yeah, you need to go get help.
Bro, what are you talking? No. Bro, that's kind of fun. Bro, if you're sitting there watching the game, you're trying to guess if it's a ball or a strike.
$1 a pitch.
Yeah, that's nothing.
$1 a pitch.
Bro, do you know how much NIL money he's making? Come on.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is, like, now, here's the thing. There's the Brendan Sorsby story is the small point. There's a larger story to this that I want to get to. Because what's going to happen with Brendan Sorsby, because I went and called some coaches and I called some contacts that I have, trying to get some information, trying to get some feedback. I've got only but 2 contacts who were able to give me some serious information that were able to say, look, what we're hearing is the NCAA is going to make him the example. Full season suspension, likely never going to play college football again. More than likely, he's either going to enter the supplemental draft or he's going to call it a career, one way or another. Or Canada or the UFL.
By the way, UFL doing pretty good right now, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. But it is pretty much like locked in that unless there is some sort of like curveball that comes here soon for the way the story's been reported and for the information that's been out there, and I guess through their investigation, right now it seems to be lock, stock, and barrel. Like, he will probably not play another game in college football. He's got a lawyer on retention. He will likely challenge that. He will fight tooth and nail to try and get his eligibility back, but by that point it feels like it'll probably be midway through the college season, and at that point in time, there's no point if he's going to fight this thing. If he is going to fight this thing. Like, he's only got yay amount of months to be able to make this thing happen and be able to try and get a ruling out of a court, because pretty soon college football season is going to be here, and if he's not on the field for Texas Tech, that NIL money's likely going to be gone, no doubt. He's going to have to repay that back if it hasn't already been paid to him. They're probably going to sue for their money back of some sort. I don't have all the logistics in front of me about how that's going to work. But basically, Brendan Sorsby is now in a position where I think no matter how he comes out of this, he's not coming out unscathed.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with your point that the NCAA does need to make a statement with him, especially
unfortunately.
Unfortunately, because with the new NIL stuff, I mean, in all of this turmoil that we have against college football, and it's even worse just in the sports world with all the gambling aspect of it. I mean, games are being played on networks sponsored by a gambling site. And
exactly.
For as fun as it could be to put $5 on someone to hit a home run, or honestly, I've done it. I've put $1 on a ball or strike. It's not that bad.
As have I.
The thing is when you're an athlete like this, it's so close to being corruptible on your playing side of it, and obviously also, like you said, making bets when he was before.
Yeah.
And I think it as much as it's a bad thing what he's going through with this. It's a good thing that the NCAA should make an example out of this because they need to nip that in the butt quick.
100%.
Because they didn't nip NIL in the butt quick, and it exploded, and now it's a turmoil that it's actually more. You're better off staying in college than going to the NFL or going to the NHL.
Yeah, I mean, look at
in the MLB. You're better off staying there.
Yeah,
because you're going to make more money in college. That's not a good. They didn't nip it in the butt real early.
No, that's not a good.
This is something they need to jump on because this is the first major one. I mean, this is a kid.
This is just the one that we've heard about.
This is and then this is also a kid that probably up there as a dark. I know gambling terms, but dark horse and for the Heisman.
Yeah,
probably could have worked himself up to maybe a second-round pick, maybe a first-round pick.
They were talking about him being a possible mid-first-round pick at his best.
I think that could be a really good thing for the NCAA to really step in here. For as great of a player as he is,
yeah,
you got to do something to make an example of it.
And this is the problem that I have too. Like, and I understand where this is. People, I think, understand where this is going to go, but like. I understand that sports and gambling now are so interlinked with each other that there is no, like, demolishing. Like, that the wall is set. There's no breaking that wall down unless something supremely major happens of an epic scale of, like, the gambling scandal type where it's like, oh, we're taking your data or on some major scale and feeding it to whatever. It'd have to be on something like that. These two things have been intertwined for hundreds of years now. Since the dawn of – we said this years ago on this show. From the time that two people probably challenged each other for a run, there was another two people, if not those two exact people, who said, I'll give you whatever currency I have to say that I can beat you. Like, gambling's been around forever, no doubt.
It's just never been as close to the product as it's ever been.
And that's the problem, is that we have now brought it so close together that it seems like this was almost inescapable. And it's now becoming a problem in this country, I've seen, where looking at the statistics I was able to find.
It's not just here, by the way.
No.
As someone who just came from Scotland, it's not a just here thing.
This is across the world. Gambling, in the 3-4 years now, it has become legalized within the United States and of itself in majority of the states. It has grown past, in many states, drugs and alcohol as the number one addiction. And there are some that are saying that by the end of this year and possibly the beginning of next year, it could be the number one addiction, not just in America, but also in the world.
And in our sports world, I mean, it's just, like I said, baseball teams are playing on regional sports networks sponsored by a gambling site.
Yeah.
Adverts are being the first advert you see when they go to a commercial break is a Prize Picks ad or FanDuel Sports, BetMGM, all that stuff. And like I said, it's not just a here thing. We're big soccer fans, you and me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most teams have a shirt sponsor. Bet88, Bet365.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Everywhere. It is. I'm saying this to help people understand. I am not condoning anybody for gambling. If that is what you want to do, fine. For a leisure activity and all that stuff is fine. But I think there are a lot of people who are starting to realize they have a problem, and it is beginning to grow. Like Brendan Sorsby will be the example that is made to say, do not bet on college football games or you will be suspended for the season. But he should now become the poster child for this is what happens when you make these apps so readily available to us at the push of a button. With
little verification of even who you are, because
exactly.
The thing is these, especially as an athlete, they need to have a verification. I mean, we're in the sports industry. We have to go when you work with a team. We have to go through training to make sure
background
we're not gambling
checks
on a sport, and we have zero connection to some of these players. Even we still have to do it. Nick's sitting there; he's got to go do his training to not gamble on sports.
Yep,
that's just a part of it. These players might need to do something like that as well, or there might need to be another step of verification because it's kind of rough that these guys can just get so close to it.
No, absolutely. And this this is, I'm trying to tread lightly here because I understand that there might come a point in time, maybe if this show ever gets big enough, that perhaps we get introduced into one of those sites that would say, hey, here's a bundle of money to go promote. Because I see the YouTubes who have the connections with FanDuel and DraftKings and all that stuff, right?
And as they should, go get your money.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not,
Andrew,
listen.
I swear to God, if you ever got sponsored by a gambling site, I would hope that you would take it.
Well, here's the thing. I can't sit here and say I have that morality when I've preached about the live golf stuff and I've said, yeah, if they came at me with $50 million, I'd take it. Like, I can't be the abject of morality in that kind of level. But what I want people to understand is that we are approaching a very dangerous point now where there is so much going on in our lifetime where we can place bets on. Now with these prediction markets of what I consider to be, I think, the biggest scams out there in Kalshi and Poly Market, where you are betting on day-to-day regional activities of, is it going to rain and crap like that. Like, it's getting to a point where we are building a number of addicts across this country that can very much so become have a significant outcome potentially in how games go, right? I mean, because, yeah, it starts with the kids on the college campuses, but from there, you get to know the players get to know the kids, they start to mesh, they mingle. Maybe the player says, hey, I got a couple bucks in my NIL, you mind if I throw them on your app to be able to make some money? This is where now you start to integrate this world where all of a sudden the lines are getting crossed, they're getting blurred, and you're starting to develop these problems. I mean, you look at some of these stories that are out there, right, of players who get caught up in these gambling scandals and they end up saying, yeah, I made some money, but I cost myself everything. And look, how many people have done that? Like, my brother works in the casino industry, and I can't tell you how many people he's told us about. Like, recently, he told me a story about a guy comes to the cage and cashes out $50,000. That's a lot of money. And at the same time, he says, I would also like to have myself banned from the casino because he's $225,000 in debt. He's an elementary school teacher. Like, we're at a point right now in this country where I think we need to really have a hard discussion about, should we even allow these apps to be on the phone? Like, not just for athletes. Not just even saying for athletes. I'm saying for people.
I just gave up gambling for Lent. It was like a great recovery.
Felt good, didn't it?
It felt really good to just get away from it for a little bit.
That's the thing is that
I'm back on it, but
sure. And I don't think you're an addict. I know I joke about that before.
No,
I've said it before, but I don't think you're an addict at all, Scotty. But it's the thing of when I think you're getting to that point where you're saying, I'm going to bet each pitch like even $1. That's going to add up. When you consider that you're going to do that probably once a day or once every other day or even once every week, like, people, gambling is set up so that the house always wins. You will always lose more than you're winning. I promise you. I promise you. The game is rigged. It is a carnival game at its core. So unfortunately, as much as you want to say, oh, but I'm going to bet, that's not how it works. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are now learning they don't have the self-control. Look at Brendan Sorsby. He clearly did not have the self-control to be able to say, I can stop. And this is where I'm going to call out some people like Jonas Knox on Fox Sports Radio who decided to say, like, hey, man, when I pass by a liquor store, I don't go jump in there and just get all buzzed up and schlitched all day. Okay, dude, easy for you to say, I guess, because you don't have that thing inside your brain that's going, hey, you need it, you want it, you need it, you want it, you need it, you want it. Go get it, come on, you want it. Don't you want it? You need it, come on. You have no idea how hard that is to deal with. And as somebody who's had to deal with it myself personally, and that was on the drug side of things, I can tell you it's not easy. And imagine if you are an athlete who, by the way, is being potentially influenced by the outcome of the game because you have a bunch of money placed on that opportunity. Brendan Sorsby goes into Oklahoma State, and he's taken Texas Tech to possibly cover. Well, what if he's not having a good performance? What happens then? What if he goes into debt? What if he made a giant bet? You give him $5 million to play with, what do you think's going to happen? like, this is the problem. Like, I think this is a point where we have to say to ourselves, should these apps be on the phone for anybody? Like, you want to bet, go to a computer, go to your laptop, go to an iPad, or go to a reputable casino, or go to a bookie. Like, I don't think it's good to be able to have that ability to go, here's my phone, I whipped it out, I'm in the middle of the day, I'm going to place a parlay, and now I'm going to place another one, and now I'm going to place another one. When it's always in your hand every single day, I think that changes the outcome of how things can happen. When you actually have to go somewhere to be able to go do it, or you have to go to like a laptop or computer to do it and access the website, I think that makes it a little bit trickier and gives you a chance to be able to reflect to make sure that, is this what you want to do? Now, again, I'm not going to sit here as the voice of morality and the voice of reason and say that, I'm saying this 1-800-GAMBLING if you need help with that. But I think it's important for us to stress that this is not just Brendan Sorsby. This is lots of athletes. Again, talking with these coaches, I had a chance to be able to kind of talk with them. Not everybody was giving me the ins and outs, and I'm not going to tell about anybody's name and give anything away, but I can tell you this. Of some 20-odd coaches I was able to talk to, from JUCO level all the way to Division I AA, I got 9 of them that responded back that said, we're estimating that probably 50-plus athletes each have gambling sites, apps on their phone. And they said that probably anywhere between 10 to 20 of those athletes more than likely probably have a problem. And of those 9 coaches, I only had 1 that said we identified that they had a problem and we're trying to go help them. Which is great, by the way. Great that you're providing those resources. But imagine that on the national scale now. So what, we're talking about 15 on average players possibly per team that maybe have a gambling addiction potentially, that could be having this same problem. Like, this could change a lot of how we look at college football, of how we look at college sports. I get it's a major influence on our lives now. It's a big part of why we watch sports.
I mean, we can't even bet on Illinois college sports.
No.
I mean, maybe that should just be a thing across. You can't bet on college sports.
Maybe maybe there has to be.
You can only bet on professional leagues. Maybe that should be a thing.
Yeah. There has to be a boundary set to try, because we're approaching a dangerous point now, I think. Because addiction can take a hold of you and really cost people their lives. Even gambling. Talk about drugs and alcohol. Yeah, no, those are dangerous, no doubt. But gambling, you get into enough debt, some people don't see a way out, and they say the only way out is for me to not be here. Not to be morbid, but it's true. It's true. But and what happens if that happens with some of these kids, right? God forbid we hear about the Division I athlete who said, I can't do this anymore. He takes his own life, and we hear about the fact that he was hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in debt because he wouldn't stop placing bets. We don't want to hear that story. None of us do. So, Scott, he might be right. Maybe we just say no more college sports gambling. Or maybe we do say no more betting. You can't have the betting apps on the phone anymore. Legislation goes into play. I know people would hate that. I know people are probably screaming at me going, why are you trying to ruin fun? I'm not trying to ruin fun. I'm trying to maybe help people. I'm trying to maybe give an avenue so we can kind of protect some of these kids and maybe even protect yourself. I had one dude email me last time we talked about this stuff who's like, dude, gambling's not an addiction. I'm not addicted. He spent the whole time in his email defending himself.
Fair.
I got news for you, buddy. You probably have an addiction. I think you should go get help. I'm not joking. Legit. I feel bad for Brendan Sorsby. I'm glad that he recognized, or somebody recognized, that he should get help. I hope others can do the same. Please, please, please reach out to people if you're feeling that way. Gambling, drugs, drinking, anything of that sort. Seriously. I'll end it there with that whole situation. All right, let's move on to some happier stuff, or happier-ish stuff.
Next, I don't know if I'm happy about it. I'm not even a fan of this team anymore.
Chicago Bulls. Got to talk about it. You guys were asking me about it. Obviously, they've been on the hunt for general manager, vice president, And officially the first domino has fallen, and that is Bryson Graham, who is a executive with the Atlanta Hawks last season, was most notoriously known for his time with the New Orleans Hornets, was a part of...
Let's be honest, the only thing he's known for is being able to progress up the ladder in where he was. You know,
Yeah.
He started as a scout, was a pretty good scout, then became a major scout, and then
Right.
Joined the front office and kept joining up there. That's really the only thing that we're kind of known about him at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, I follow a lot of Bulls fans, and a lot of them were like, especially, there's a certain YouTuber and podcaster. He's like, look, I just sat here for an hour trying to research stuff about him,
Yeah.
and I found nothing.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. No,
Like-
and that's legit. That's legitimately
Look, maybe,
fair.
Again, maybe it's a great hire that they did something like that.
Yeah.
Where it's not someone with an ego coming in or a very well-known guy. Especially like you look at I forget who just did it, but they just signed who just got the guy from Toronto.
Mavericks.
Yeah, the Mavericks.
Masai Ujiri.
Yeah, hey, maybe it's a good thing they didn't hire a guy like that who's going to come in with a pedigree and ego that,
I won a championship in Toronto.
I made it work here. I made a championship in Toronto.
Right.
We could do it my way and we'll win it. Maybe that's like a good thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, from the press conference, it seemed like the Bulls kind of understand the place they're in. They're like, look, maybe we do need to change some things that, we're sorry for the last couple of years. It kind of sounded like that's what came off.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just weird to think that a big move like this could happen and literally no one has a reaction to it.
That's the thing is, I think people who are upset about this were hyped on the idea that the front runner being named was Matt Lloyd, right? Has the connections with Chicago, worked his way through the Bulls organization in those early years. Obviously, he has been a big, important piece up there in Minnesota with developing that team and putting the pieces together for what looks like could be a championship caliber team at some point. I don't know if this is going to be the year, but we'll see. But everyone seemed to be set that this was going to be the guy, right? And then all of a sudden you pivot and you hear that this is the name that comes up and you go, who? Right? And the one thing I've seen with a lot of people was that the NBA.com put out an article kind of talking about him a little bit, kind of giving some actual information on him. Like Matt Eberflus, he comes in with an acronym called SLAP, which is size, length, athleticism, and physicality. Which is, listen, for what it is worth, he's been accredited with finding players like Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, Dyson Daniels, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, all four which have been proven talents and commodities with their teams, the Atlanta Hawks and the New Orleans Pelicans now, right?
That's more guys than the last guy they hired. The last guy they hired was strictly just because he found Jokic.
Jokic, yeah. And I give him credit for Nurkic, too.
No,
Nurkic is an okay player.
Don't give him credit for Nurkic.
Nurkic is an okay player.
No, don't
an
give
okay
him
player.
credit for that. No.
Nurkic
wasn't drafted during a Taco Bell commercial.
Yeah, it's true. I hold reserves of what this guy can be for a vice president. He seems to have a decent body of work behind himself as far as being a scout. I guess the question is then, okay, well, what happens next, right? Well, now we wait for the draft lottery. Now we wait to see what the Bulls are going to get for the draft lottery. We know they have 2 first-round picks. Well, yeah, and then they need that as well.
Which, by the way, if they bring back Thibodeau, oh, my God, they're screwed.
I can't.
He's the top name. Because, look, if the Bulls were in a position where they could turn it around next year and, maybe push for, a 4th seed or a 3rd seed, something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, that's different. Yo, this team needs a rebuild.
That's the you need somebody who's
going to...
going
have picks for it either. They have a bunch of second-round
Yeah.
picks.
You need somebody who's going to be able to step in here, develop the young talent, and be able to take them from level here to level there, right?
Well, that's why AK thought it was a good idea to just keep trading for second-round picks because they drafted Jokic in the second round.
You know what? That's inherently possible. That is inherently possible that was his mindset, honestly. And look, 4 draft picks in this year's draft, that is pretty steep and deep with talent. Not bad, but if you're landing at 9 and 15, if you're not getting a center like Jalen Duran in the free agent market, I think Ade Mara is the guy you go with. Braden Burries is going to be there. LeBron Fillion is going to be there too from Alabama. There's tons of talent that you can find in this year's draft that they can go get. I just don't, like Scotty said, you got to go find the coach first and then figure out, well, what is the direction of this team? Because you have a pillar in Matas Buzelis, and you have an engine in Josh Giddey. But now are you trading Trey Jones to get another draft pick potentially? Like, he could bring in some value. Can you trade Jalen Smith? Are you going to maybe try and make a move for Anthony Simons to try and maybe keep him on the team on a cheaper long-term deal? I know he's going to try and max out on contract, but is there a chance he might be willing to kind of come back and try and see what he can do as a still in his prime piece? Like, there's a lot there that the Bulls can explore, but you're putting a guy in a position like Bryson Graham that we've never heard of, that doesn't really have any kind of caliber to his name that we can kind of trust in. But like you said, Scotty, maybe that's a good thing that you moved away from the big name, big known Mike Dunleavy Jr., Masai Ujiri, Arturas Karnisovas type of guy, and you decided to go, well, let's go with a guy that doesn't really have anything to his name, that maybe can prove something to us. You know? I mean, everybody's got to start from somewhere. And I guess this guy is as good as any. I just, you have to hope that he has a very similar mindset and eye for talent as the vice president that he did when he was a scout, because he's clearly, if these are guys he's attributed to, he's clearly found some talent. He clearly knows how to identify guys that are high contributors that are going to max out on contracts. So, okay, good. You know how to put together a team. But now can you find those guys in the draft to be able to help this Bulls team develop? And it's not just develop now, it's develop in about 3, 4, 5 years' time. Like, is Asangwe a part of that future? I don't even know who's even on the team anymore at this point. I stopped watching the Bulls at one point because it's like, it's not worth it. Like, do you see Rod Dillingham taking on a bigger role at this point? Can you see, I think Leonard Miller should be kept and should be given a bit more of a vast role, coming off as like the sixth man off the bench, because he has that prolific scoring ability. There's a lot of opportunity for you to be able to say, there are guys here, but can you identify the right 5 to start now and grow the rest through the bench and through the G League, and hopefully get them to a point where in 4 years' time, we're looking at the Bulls saying, challenging for the Central.
And by the way, apparently Noah, I don't know how to say his French last name.
Asangwe.
But he's 7 foot now, apparently. So
close to 7 foot. They said close. It's not exactly 7 foot.
Reports I heard he was 7 foot.
Okay, listen. If he's 7 foot, 250 pounds, good. But he's like 7 foot, 210.
I was gonna say he's a little string bean.
He's a little skinny, which is fine. I get that's like the NBA's move now to go to. You're not getting Wembanyama. You're never gonna find that guy again.
Wemby put on weight though.
He did.
Wemby put on weight when he came to the NBA. That's what they need to do with Matas and Noah.
Yeah.
They need to get them to put on weight.
And look, I think over time, those guys can put on the muscle mass, develop, keep those skill sets, and become, at least Matas Buzelis is going to be an all-star, I think, for good years to come. But you need to make him the central focal point and say, we develop around him, we develop around Giddey, and we find those guys that can help us move forward. I wish all the best to Bryson Graham. If you can't prove this, I'm out. Hello, San Antonio.
Bandwagon.
I already bought a Wembanyama jersey. I don't care. I do not care.
Buying a jersey is different, though.
I do not care. I will put that jersey on and say I'm a Spurs fan. I don't care. I have nothing left as far as feeling like a sports fan. I am dead inside. All right, last thing we're going to talk about, because the boys aren't here, and I thought I'll take my crack at it. And since I got Scotty here, he can also kind of give me a little bit of the bounce back on that as well, too, kind of help fill in the gaps, if you will. But this came from one of our guys, Mario, who is an Atlanta, Georgia man. Mario asked us, he said, after watching all the cuts that WWE made, and after seeing the guys that obviously were getting let go or walking away, if you will, that was my words, not his, He said, is WWE in serious trouble with its current future underneath TKO as the executives in charge?
Yes. All right. See you next week here on X-Bound Sports.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's a way out of this right now other than finding another buyer for the WWE at this point.
Which they can't really do now because TK has already said that he is. They've already come out that Tony Khan tried to buy them.
Yes.
He's just going to go and do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't do that again.
And I mean, he's.
I'll say this.
Yeah, please.
I'll say this.
Start it off for us.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Look, I am obviously the WWE. When TKO came in, they realized that Vince McMahon kept tickets low, kept all this stuff low because he wanted people to be able to afford it. And TKO came in and said, "Look, there's a lot of money to be made with it. We can make a lot of money with it."
Correct.
And that's how everyone should think: is how can we make the most money? There's no problem in that.
Yeah.
The problem comes now that the product is so much worse. And the product for the people is so much worse.
Yeah.
When we're sitting there watching WrestleMania, me and my sisters, we're having a great time with it, but they're enjoying it just because they get to see the matches and all the entrances.
Of course.
But I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, I got to watch another advert. Hey, by the way, Hulk Hogan's documentary is coming out. Didn't know if you knew that. I recently got to go into Scotland. I was wide awake at 1 o'clock in the morning and turn on SmackDown.
Yeah.
You know how nice it is to watch SmackDown and only just see the "we'll be right back" instead of, hey, Hulk Hogan's documentary's coming out next week. Don't you want to watch that?
Well,
yeah. And then the fact you can't afford tickets. You can't afford merchandise sales. Yeah, they talk about it all the time, how they're selling out gates and all this stuff. But then you come out and it's, hey, take a 50% pay cut or you're out.
Yeah. Well, was it? Everyone was joking after all the releases. They're like, well, how else are you going to pay Roman Reigns if he's going to be full-time? Which I can't speak to the validity of that.
No, you can't speak to that at all because, again, this is a company that only talks about how they're making so much money.
Right, of course.
You can't make that statement.
They have the money to pay him.
Their owner pulled in $67 million. Yeah, shut up, guys. I know I said it.
Yeah.
I know I said it. Shut up, guys.
It's fine. I think part of their problem is, and look, I'm still kind of growing into this, getting back into the swing of things, of understanding how it works. But I feel like part of WWE's problem, too, is that they've loaded their roster with a lot of talent, no doubt. But there's so many names on there now that it overflows with guys and women to a point where you go, well, not everybody's going to be able to eat at the table. Some people are going to have to go.
Yeah, but the problem is when you have certain guys like that that are only sitting in catering. That's not a problem. That's not a we're paying them and they're doing nothing problem. That's a problem with you're not actually putting them on the show. How do you have a 3-hour show and can't find time for them?
You can't find a way to funnel a few stories together. Like, I remember back in the day with WWE, the amount of time they had, there was so much story that they could put together. Not all of it was good, I will say. Not all of it was always good, but you'd have your big, this is the main event story, right? This is the one that we're trying to tell, that everyone's really invested in. And then there'd be the little ones that you would trounce along here and there, and you could see where the dots were getting connected, things were going to align, and it's all coming to a head at, the big pay-per-view, right?
You care about the story at the hour mark. Same, maybe not the same amount, but you at least care about it the same you would with the story that's on right at the end of the show.
Yeah. You're trying to, this is entertainment at its core.
But now we're getting to the point where the show, the storyline that's going at an hour, you don't know if come next Friday they're not even going to be in the company.
Yeah, exactly. Well, people I saw with all the people that were getting released and everything, all of a sudden the drop was that New Day is out. And I went, well, that's a little bit of a shock. This is that. They're one of those premier tag teams.
Now that also brings up another thing. This brings up another thing that's going wrong with TK. Where's the loyalty?
Yeah.
Kofi Kingston's someone that's been in the WWE for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Xavier Woods was the front runner for WWE to get them into the gaming space. Then they started making money in the gaming space and getting viewership in the gaming space. And you let both of them go.
Yeah.
Where's the loyalty in that?
No, exactly. I remember when Kofi Kingston first debuted on WWE and how huge that was to watch this guy flip around the ring, and everyone went, this guy's amazing, this is fantastic. He's going to be one of those greats. And he was Javon Evans before Javon Evans. Seriously. And all of a sudden, years of watching him win the championship, and I remember watching that and going, oh my God, I can't believe he finally did it. I wasn't even that big of a wrestling fan at that point, but I was still like, it warmed my heart to see that he finally got a just reward for that, and how much that meant to him. And instead, now all of a sudden it's just oh, we're walking away. Because
they told him to take a massive
because it's look, you either take less money or you go, and they're like, okay, we'll go.
Or how about this one, for instance? They've been booking this whole Kairi Sane thing for months now.
Yeah.
About her trying to turn. She had a match on Monday. Friday, she's gone.
And then weren't they cheering for her the next day or whatever it was? They were cheering her name, and WWE was kind of going "Ooh, man, think we messed up here?" Kinda. You just completely ended something mid-storyline. I mean, that's I've seen movies and TV shows do that plenty of times, and you know what happens to them? They bomb. They absolutely bomb. You can't all of a sudden do, oh, we got to have a rewrite all the way midway through. What are you going to do? You can kill her off? What the hell's wrong with you?
And to their dismay, I mean, TKO is so brain dead to their fans too. They go to these.
Oh, absolutely.
They go to you hear them talking in meetings, and they're like, so the big thing we're getting complaints about is all the commercials, but people go to movies and watch the commercials beforehand. Yeah, they're before the movie.
Yes.
Not during it.
Exactly.
They're before. Hey, we just got done with this match at WrestleMania. By the way, did you know the Hulk Hogan documentary is coming out?
Yeah, right. I'm not watching the new Jurassic Park movie, and then all of a sudden in the middle of it, it's buy a Hyundai. It's no. It's not a thing, or whatever it would be.
I'm in the middle of watching Michael Jackson, and while he's coming up with the music video for Thriller, all I hear is, hey, did you know the Hulk Hogan documentary is coming out, by the way?
Yeah, right. Buy Pepsi, because, Michael Jackson, Pepsi.
Oh, no, you can't say Pepsi with me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. I apologize. But unfortunately, yeah, TK, and look, it is still on Triple H's shoulder to some degree. On the control effort of this. Though.
It's becoming now that it's not, that he's just the...
Right, he's the puppet getting the strings pulled by the top. But...
The scapegoat,
it doesn't...
the face of it.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're not escaping any blameability on this one. You have culpability to this regardless, as Triple H should. Because to some degree, there are decisions that I think he does make. Maybe not the major ones, but the smaller ones I feel like you could have he has more of an impact on. And the choices he sometimes make are just why did we go in this? Why is this the direction to take? Why was this the right move to... but we have Backlash coming up tomorrow. Right? And I'm looking at the card right now. Feels like it should be a decent, but I'm looking at what we've got, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker. That's been building up, I think, pretty nicely. But if I see one freaking interference come through on that one,
the thing is, that's going to happen. That's not really the point. The point I'm getting at is the other thing. How about this? You're looking at that card, right?
Yeah.
So what do you got in that card? You got Danhausen, mystery opponent, Miz.
Sure.
You got Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins. You got
Io Sky, Asuka.
Asuka, Roman, and Jacob, and then I forget the
Trick, Sammy.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Those are great matches.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know that only 3 of them are on this new thing that you have to pay $30 a month for.
Yep.
You only get 3 matches, so you're paying $10 per match you're gonna watch.
Yep.
Because the other 2 are free on ESPN.
Which is ridiculous. I don't understand that.
Which, hey, good idea to maybe try to build a fan base. Put it out for free like that. Yeah, great idea. Drop the price of it. It's $30 a month.
I will never get over the fact that when they announced that they were pairing with ESPN, I was like, oh, cool, I can see the pay-per-views on there with ESPN Plus, and then suddenly finding out Now you got to pay the $29.99 if you want to actually have full access to all of ESPN's values, especially the pay-per-views. And I'm like, I'm not doing that.
It's what we do. We release talent. It's what we do.
It's a disservice to a fan bases that has been so strong and so united in saying that this is one of the best. And I have fallen into it now too. I love watching it week in and week out to see what happens, to see some of the great matches. But I'm almost now on Nick's side where I'm looking at AEW going, all right, the stories may not be great there, but at least the matches are kicking ass. And I'm enjoying that stuff, where with WWE, every other match might be halfway decent, and the stories they're trying to tell are struggling to get by. And I'm going, I don't know if this even makes sense to me, and I don't even know if this makes sense to even the wrestling fan that is actually deep diving into this. And then I'm watching those guys on clips going, it makes no sense to me. And I'm going, I knew I was right.
See, I can't get on the full AEW side just because I know every single feud is going to end in a massive blood brawl.
Right.
That's not what I'm into. So
No, and that's fine.
I can't get to that with theirs, so I have to default to WWE because WWE panders to what I like with it.
Of course.
But they don't pander to me that Elimination Chamber was in Chicago a little while ago, and I was thinking about taking my sister's $500 ticket.
No, yeah, no, absolutely not.
Doing that.
No. Well, you could have taken to a bar and watched this. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, they blacked those out. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's what we do.
If that's what they do, then they need to change that, because you are they are never going to not be the most popular wrestling promotion in the world.
No, but they're trying to test the waters.
Yes, you are really asking a lot of fans to start alienating your product. And I have seen a lot of people say, look, I'm not the biggest fan of AEW, but at least I know I can watch them, and I know I'm not going to get crammed with ads and not have to have it through a paywall and all this other crap get fueled in me, and I can at least afford to go to the pay-per-views and the matches, which is kind of the important part of keeping your fan bases. You don't have, like you said, Scotty, it is about making money, but there's a way for you to be able to make money and make it affordable. There's a fine line balance that you can have. But I think because there's a certain somebody who's a part of TKO who is, shall we say, very money hungry, I think there is a big portion of that that's going, well, he figured it out with MMA. Come on.
I kind of heard this a good little tidbit.
Please.
See, as a UFC fan, this is what we deal with a lot. You know how great it's been not having to pay $80 a month for pay-per-view? It's been great. Fantastic.
Yeah. I finally get to watch some MMA matches on a regular basis myself, which is something I never got to do unless it was on Spike TV back in the day.
And it's kind of, the meme from Pirates when they're getting killed, and he looks at is that first time? Like, that's what it's like as a UFC fan looking at some WWE fans, fully realizing it's first time. You're now just realizing all of the adverts for all of this. It's crazy.
No, it's unfortunate, and I feel bad for the fans that are out there. And as somebody who's getting back into it on a regular basis, it sucks that all of a sudden I've become a part of this now over the last couple months, thanks to Nick and David and even you, Scotty, and many others that are into it as well, and getting more enveloped into this world for WWE and AEW and even New Japan and all these other indies and everything like that. And now you're starting to see the cracks that are forming in the cement for such a big company, and realizing, well, where are the cracks coming from? Oh, the jackhammer that's sitting at the top that's clearly creating the desolation of this foundation that has been there for WWE, that is called TKO. It's sad to see. It is sad to see. And so I'm sorry, Mario. To put it bluntly, like Scotty said,
it's what we do.
Yeah, it's what we do. It's so stupid. The future of WWE is going to be very murky unless there is some way that they can get out of TKO. Like, there has to be that point. Maybe Dana White has a scandal. I don't know. Something, right? He's got to.
Hey, Saudi Arabia dropped out of Live Golf. Maybe TKO is just like, hey, WWE, not worth it anymore.
We'll see. we'll see. That's another thing that people ask me about. It's not making money, and they're not going to invest in it. They need to get out of the oil business.
It's not making money. They spent too much money to where they're not making money.
Yeah, it's a deficit.
Because live events do sell out and all that.
Absolutely, and they're fun.
It's just when you pay Bryson DeChambeau $250 million, it's kind of hard to make that up when you only make like $10 billion going to a certain place.
I'm not going to blame those guys for taking the money. I would do it too. Call me an American hater if you want, Scotty.
I got a couple, man.
Go for it, man. Please.
Did you see Real Madrid?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is funny, dude. And my timeline is fantastic. The memes are great.
Oh, this team.
Tchouaméni and all these guys fighting, and the petition. By the way, the petition to get Mbappe out of the club is now the most signed petition in human history.
We are not going to let him go.
It is the most signed petition in any instance, not in sports, in like any petition that has ever been out. 40 million people have signed this.
They're not going to let him. They will likely sell Vinny Jr.
And now they're going to bring in Mourinho to reel it all in, which, by the way, it's crazy, but that is going to work.
He's going to go nuts. He's going to lose his mind. He's going to get them in trouble. But you know what? If he puts them in the right direction, if they make a Champions League final, I will be okay.
Yeah, right.
I will be okay. And I honestly think they have enough young talent that if they do lose Vinny, the money they recoup on him, they can just finally use to get somebody to fill the Modric spot. Or got to get Valverde going.
Well, they tried to get him going, and now he's got a headache.
Yeah, I know. Well, stop fighting with... What? I don't understand why they got in a fight. I don't understand that. I mean, I do, but, like, I don't, like... Why? Like, why? You play different spots.
Oh, and by the way, Mbappe is just on a vacation right now.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
NHL playoffs have been fantastic.
They have. I've enjoyed them. I've seriously enjoyed them.
Obviously, just the best time to watch it, and it's just been fantastic. So we have a great fight this weekend. Strickland and Chimaev, and also Van Tyra is going to be great. But did you watch the little bit of the press conference?
Yeah,
dude, it's so funny.
Give credit to Sean, if anything. He knows how to sell the heel side of things.
UFC is the best when there's an actual blood fight going down.
I mean, seriously. Chimaev does not like him. He does not like Chimaev. Strickland truly believes, I think, that he is going to win this within seconds.
The problem is he's just gonna lay on him for 25 minutes.
It's gonna. That's what I'm afraid of.
I might actually be really mad.
Oh, well, it's not going to be the same, but it's going to be where people got upset with the whole Conor Nurmagomedov situation where they were, he's always on the ground the whole time putting on. It's but that's what he does.
Jemai is different though because he actually that DDP fight he actually legitimately just did nothing.
No, yeah.
What Dana said, Connor's going to be back in the summer. Probably going to be International Fight Week, and it's probably going to be against Holloway.
Okay. Sure.
No title fight, just a fight, and that's going to main event International Fight Week, and honestly, it should.
Well, I mean, that's a great matchup. I will definitely watch that.
And then the White House card.
I was going to say, I mean, I know the card came up. I know we haven't talked about it.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And then they added Derek Lewis on there because...
I love that. I mean...
Well, I hate it because it's either I see Josh Hokett lose or I see Derek Lewis lose, and I don't want either of those guys to lose.
I know. There a lot of people... Well, listen... At the end of the day, those guys will still hug each other because I know they're aren't they buddies or something like that?
No, it's just no, they're not buddies. It's just more so everyone likes both of them.
Right? Yeah.
Hokett is a little bit of an acquired taste because he's a low budget Chael Sonnen.
Is that what they're calling him?
Well, yeah, because he just rhymes. He's up there Emineming after he wins a fight.
That is true.
Bro, shout out to him for being able to memorize that after getting your brain busted in for 15 minutes.
I probably jogged his memory. Is probably what it did. It probably activated something in his brain.
It comes back.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, oh, I remembered it now. That was nasty. But it's going to be a nice little show, I think, for the White House card. It's like a lot of people have said, it's very much going to be USA, and it's like, Okay, but your 2 top fighters aren't even US. Like your main event's not even USA guys.
True.
Yeah, so I don't know how you're gonna promote it as USA. Like you only got a handful of United States fighters on there anyway. So, but cool. I'm all for it. They look like good fights. I'm here for it. So, but is that all you got?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for the show. Then I hope you guys did enjoy it. It's good to be back. We're going to try to get on the consistent side of this for Fridays as much as we can. It's not always easy for us, especially now with gas prices being as high as they are. I know it's a little difficult for me and Scotty to get around here because it takes us a while to get up here to the studio. But when we are here on Fridays, ladies and gentlemen, you can always find us. We're on the YouTube and Twitch side. We are going live every Friday. I still haven't changed that. It's every Friday.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out around 12:30 p.m. Central Time right here on the YouTube side, youtube.com/xbombsports and twitch.tv/xbombsports. If you guys want to also follow us on the social media side, too, we're at xbombsports on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Also going to be back on TikTok at some point in time here soon. We're still working on that as well. And if you guys want to keep asking your questions, feed us with your comments. It's at xbsportsofficial@gmail.com. Please keep them coming. We do appreciate all the questions, all the comments you guys threw to us. You guys are incredible, great fans. Thank you so much for sticking with us despite all these long pauses we've had through the shows. Again.
Send in more stupid questions.
Yeah, well, I've got plenty of those, believe me. I got plenty of those.
When you brush your teeth, where do you start?
Is that a legitimate question? Honestly, I'll answer it. I start at the back. I always start left back and work my way around and then go to front. That's how I roll. I'm being honest because it's been like a routine for me since I was a kid. I don't know why, but I noticed it like 2 years ago. I'm like, I always start here, then finish here, and then I go to the front. Like, I don't know why. My brain just went there, and I was just like, huh, interesting. Okay. But yeah, that's my answer to that question. I know nobody answered it, but yeah, it's Scotty has send more stuff like that, please. Yeah,
we'll start a Monday show just for those.
We can do that for sure. Well, somebody asked, they're like, "What?" So I will. Let's throw this one out there real quick. Somebody said, "Would you put ketchup on your ribs?" That's a question that I got. No. Absolutely. Why would you do that?
There should already be like a barbecue sauce on there.
No, but he was saying like on top of the barbecue sauce.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, what are you doing? What is wrong with you? Leave barbecue ribs alone. No ketchup. Not everything needs ketchup.
Yo, reply in the emails. Do you put your socks on before you put your pants on?
Okay, no, we're not doing that. I'm not having. That is one of, and guys.
Both socks or shoe or sock shoe.
I prefer to go in both first at the same time. I put the socks over. No, I'm not. I put the socks in the shoe and then I jump into them like I'm, Wallace and Gromit or whatever it is like that.
That needs to be an invention.
And guys who are old school, I've seen yours hot dog a taco comments. It's what we're known for. It's what we've always been known for. Guys, no. Hot dogs are not tacos. Tom's not even here for that. Stop it. Just stop it.
If you start putting stuff on the hot dog, it becomes a taco.
He's going to put, if I die before he does, he's going to put that on my tombstone. And I'm going to blame all of you for that. Thank you guys so much for the questions. We will see you guys next week. Hopefully, we'll keep you guys updated on that stuff. We love you. We appreciate you all. We'll see you hopefully for Blow the Whistle as well, too. Find that as well at sportstownchicago.com on the YouTube side as well. And, of course, real quick, too, Bad Karma Wrestling on the YouTube side Friday. Keep you guys updated on that as well. I know you guys have been asking some questions about Bad Karma in here as well. I'll start to put something together for you, Scotty, so you can ask the boys for Scotty's World or something like that. I just got to actually remember to do it. I'm very whacked out on lack of sleep and working a lot. But thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all so much for watching. And we'll see you guys at the next show. And as always, much love. Peace out, Boom Crew.